Earthgard here, and it's time to talk about the ending of Fairy Tail. And this episode was both anticlimactic and also great at the same time to build up into future things to come, which I really hope we're gonna get more. As of recording this video, there hasn't been any announcement for a 100-year quest season 2. I really hope so, because it ended on this big cliffhanger, so to say. But also the way this episode had a conclusion of LNTR there and the Alta face was definitely a bit anticlimactic, and I was correct about the Guildmaster of Diabolos, but also I kind of like how it ended, so I have a bit contradicting feeling, so to say. But let's get into the episode and talk about it. And also make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I'm gonna have pretty soon the big yearly video, top 10 anime 2024 is gonna be out really soon, just putting some finishing touches on that, so make sure you don't miss it. But enough yapping, let's get into the episode and see. Here picks up from last episode, Fairy Tail versus Alta Face. At first they couldn't damage it, but then it turns golden and cancels their magic, which that's what I first thought here, kind of overwhelming them. And then Irene comes in explaining the concept of overflow, kind of going over your capacity with magic and making your body think you're back at zero. When you go after the limit on a number on something, you go back to zero, kind of resets yourself, so you're fooled into thinking you don't have any magic. This reminded me a bit of how Natsu fought against Zankro back on Tenrojima Island here. Kind of similar, but not the same here. And Irene telling Wendy to remember everything she has been through to kind of overcome her limits here, break through your limits here. And she explains that to all of them, and they go Super Saiyan. And of course, still the small boobs jokes for Wendy, even after she grew up a bit, the boobs still aren't there. And they take easy care of Alta Face. And this is why I mean a bit anticlimactic, building up this Alta Face thing. Then he was just like a generic monster being tossed aside, which I think in a way makes sense, but it definitely feels anticlimactic here. And after this, we see the aftermath of that with the white mages finally starting to stabilize the world. They're still needed here in the world. There's still too much magic in LNTR, but now that Alta Face and Selene aren't there to mess with it, it's able to be controlled by the white mages here. And we're gonna talk a bit more about the white mages later into the video. But after that, we get the celebration, typical Fairy Tail shenanigans, doing random things in the town, breaking buildings and so on, fooling around, but still thinking that Selene and Suzaku are missing. But then they decide to go back home, and I like moments like this. This is why I love Fairy Tail, just killing them with kindness in a way. Fairies apologizing, feeling guilty about everything that happened, everything she did. And I do hope we get to see more of her, because the connection with the white mages here. But I like how the Fairy Tail Guild understood that Selene put her up to this. She was trying to save her all. Then that's not to fully forgive what fairies did. She definitely went overboard. She did some shitty things, but there's an understanding of why she did those things here. And I like how Natsu is instantly, let me just punch you in the face and call it even. Lucy, no, she's a girl, you understand? It doesn't matter, so what? True gender equality. I like how Natsu's first solution to every problem is just punch it away. And to his credit, it works majority of the time here. And Fairies agreed, she wanted to do anything and everything to atone for what happened. But I like how Natsu voiced his frustrations, everything that happened, and lightly punches her on the forehead there. And says, hey, can you do it again? I loved fighting my guild. It's Battle of Fairy Tail round 3. And that kind of breaks down Fairies in a good emotional way. And I love moments like that. Power of friendship, that's the point of Fairy Tail here. And of course Natsu enjoyed fighting the guild members there. But after this we get a conclusion, at least so far, for this arc there. Then they go back, Juvia being Juvia, having great dolls, Gagel being grown up, or at least trying to control his urges a bit more, but Natsu breaks through. They start bickering again here, and I think maybe Laxas is gonna get a Exceed partner. I like how partner really talked about Toka. Maybe she could have been a partner for Laxas, but it's probably gonna be something else since Toka stayed on Ellen tier there. But I feel, or I hope at least this leads to some foreshadowing in the future. Maybe they're gonna find more exceeds and get a partner for Laxas there. They start catching up a bit with the guilds and everything. But the moment out was interesting, and I hope it's going to happen. We have Erza and Jalal doing some dessert, talking a bit about other things, and also saying the other mage, the white mage, is still on the loose. They don't have information on that, and that's why I'm thinking there's gonna be more with the white mages, and maybe we're gonna see more of Faris and Toka and so on, what's happening with that. But the key point that's happening here is Jalal is finally finding his way to live, like dealing with the darkness in the world, atoning from the past, but coming to terms with that, accepting everything that he did, that happened, but also moving forward. And finally, this is massive for Jalal, and also the relationships. Like I said, this season has been great on that aspect, but Erza finally says something I'm sure pretty much every Jalal fan or Fairy Tail fan has been thinking for a while. Can you not live that way by my side and join Fairy Tail? And also with Merdi, bringing Merdi back, I do hope he says yes, I think he's gonna say yes, but he's gonna think about it, and it would be great having Jalal joining in the guild with Fairy Tail, and pushing forward also the relationship between him and Erza. That was such a great moment, having that conversation there. Great for character build-up, relationship, advancing the guild with Fairy Tail, also leading up with the white mage into the future. Short, but very full of content here. And this is where we see the conclusion, so to say, with what happened between Suzaku and Selene. I was surprised that he actually did defeat her. I was expecting something more to happen, but I didn't think Selene was gonna do this here. Maybe if I paid more attention, but me being sick as fuck, my mind was all over the place towards the end of the season there. But great things to happen. But also I was right in a way with Georg, the guildmaster of Diablos. What happened? They have Selene captured there. He starts mocking her, of course, and then she's like, were you the one that killed my son? Yes. He starts being really assholey. She transforms and instantly splatters Georg, like he dies in one shot under her foot. That was satisfying, made me like Selene even more. She definitely feels like one of the dragon gods right now. Of course, Ignia also, but we barely saw a bit with Ignia. Selene definitely feels like the one that is driving a lot of the things moving forward here. And I like what she did. She pretended to lose against Suzaku. Well, she did technically lose. She admits that she can't beat Suzaku in her human form, but when she transforms, that's another conversation. But the thing I was right about is Georg ends up in the same way as the Guildmaster of Sabertooth, being a disappointment here, unfortunately. We don't, I don't know, I wanted to have something more from him, but I also like what Selene did, so this is why I have a bit of contradiction. I like it, but I also don't like it at the same time. But I'm leaning more into the liking it part, mainly thanks for Selene and what she does next here, asking if there are more as strong as Suzaku, and she gets very interested into that after they say there's 3 more. And she's gonna be the guildmaster of Diablos, which kind of breaks their entire mind. Remember, they're a guild that hunts dragons and eats them. Having them being led by a dragon goes against everything and anything they believe in, but they kind of have to go along with it. They can't really defeat Selene right now. I like how Kiria charged in. She gets teleported instantly to another dimension. We fully see a lot more of Selene's power here, and saying she's gonna give them information about the other dragons, and she wants distortion for her goal, distorting the world, or the worlds here, talking about the other dragon gods, Viernes, the metal god dragon, Ignia, the fire dragon god, to kill them, and revealing the full plan of everything that she wants. And you know, it makes sense, but it's also her power tripping quite a lot, saying that the world without dragons, a world only for humans. She wants to be human, but the supreme human, the world's strongest human, and saying it's time to bring the end of the days of the dragons, and how Agnologi and the dragon gods kind of prolonged that a bit, but it ended 400 years ago, and they were kind of stuck in a stalemate here. The dragon gods fighting against each other is not good because they might take each other out, and somebody else would take advantage of that. They couldn't risk, they were in equal power, this stalemate here, and she had the brilliant idea of using humans to break this stalemate because the other dragons underestimate them quite a lot, and she returns Kiria. I like the dynamic between her and Suzaku quite a lot because Georg killed Selim's son, even though she doesn't really care about him that much. She kind of uses him as a very convenient excuse to win debates and arguments, but technically he was her son. But then she killed Suzaku's master, which makes him really angry about that because he respected him a lot. And I do like Suzaku. I do hope to see more of him. It's gonna be an interesting way having this dragon killer guild being led by a dragon, and what's that gonna do moving forward. But the first thing that Celine wants to do is kill Elasferia first. But then on the other side we have Natsu and the group leaving the Fairy Tail Guild, going back on the 100-year quest, and their first stop is gonna be to talk to Elasferia, catch him up on what happened, get some more information where to go forward. So probably gonna be a clash there happening with that. But like I said at the start, as of recording, we don't have a season 2 or a sequel for the 100-year quest being announced. If it does happen, I'm gonna post it in the comments there. If you guys get an announcement, of course comment down below and I'm gonna pin it. I do hope it's going to happen because I love Fairy Tail. This season overall, let's talk a bit about that. Started out great, having the anime itself being back. I love Fairy Tail, one of my all-time favorite series. I liked how it was a lot more focused on character development individually, but also as a group, and the relationships finally moving forward here. And the fights with the dragon gods were great, especially Natsu versus Igni. I think that was the best fight here. Of course, it wasn't conclusive, just to build up for the future here. Celine turned out to be one of the most interesting new characters that we have here. All of the shenanigans, the fan service, everything so on. Aldoron was kind of a bit of a disappointment, if I'm being honest. Merkphobia was interesting because of his conclusion becoming human. Celine, out of the three, the ones they fought against, turned out to be the most interesting one. Like I said, Ignia is kind of, I don't know where to place him, what's gonna happen between him and Natsu, that dynamic, them being both the sons of Igniel there. The metal god, we don't really have any information about him besides his name, what's gonna happen with that. Also have the white mage, the other white mage, so a lot of things to push forward, so to say. I'm excited, I hope it's gonna happen, but also have a big worry about this because JC staff, take less projects, give yourself more time. What happened with Danmachi also? I would like Fairy Tail to be back, but I also wouldn't want it to be rushed or have production issues, overwork the animators, which already happens. I do hope JC staff takes their time with every series, not just Fairy Tail. Take less series, leave other studios, I don't know, just figure your shit out, JC staff, to say the least. But yeah, overall great season. Has some flaws, definitely. I still enjoy Fairy Tail being back. Now I'm curious what you guys thought about this season overall. What are your favorite moments? What weren't your favorite moments? Would you like more Fairy Tail? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure you're subscribed. Don't miss out the top 10 video. That one took a lot of work, is almost done. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'm gonna see you again on the next one. Keep enjoying Fairy Tail and other anime. Bye bye.